Well, here we are. Final Fantasy XV has been in development for 10 years, but now that you can finally have it in your hands, what are you actually supposed to do with it? What's the deal with the car? How does this game actually work? Well, this is Jason from Curse, and we're gonna give you a little primer on the return of this storied RPG franchise. Final Fantasy is a franchise infamous for slow starts and sprawling cutscenes, but 15 surprisingly doesn't waste a lot of time before thrusting you into the first bit of action, and the first battle tutorial is completely skippable. But fighting is what you're going to spend most of the game doing, so let's break this down first. The battle system of Final Fantasy XV closely resembles a modern Kingdom Hearts. The system is heavily action-oriented, though you won't find it requiring the precision or twitchy reflexes of an action game like Ninja Gaiden or God of War. The basics of the battle system can be summed up in two words: attack and defend, each with a dedicated button. Holding the attack button sends Noctis, your player character, into a string of attacks. These attacks can be modified by moving the control stick in different directions as you hold the button. The defend button puts Noctis into a defensive stance, where he can dodge incoming attacks at the expense of a bit of MP meter. Some enemies launch special attacks which, when blocked or parried, leave them open for special counterattacks for massive damage. There are a lot of these attack types, and they're both useful and fun to watch, so it's worth going for them when you can. You'll probably notice that each character has an MP gauge, but MP works a bit different than you might expect. Usually, MP is associated with spellcasting, but in Final Fantasy XV, spells are consumable items, and MP works more like a stamina meter for certain types of special moves. For example, Noxus's MP gauge decreases by using the guard button to dodge attacks, and by using his warp strike. Noctis's teleportation ability can be used to perform a warp strike from almost any distance, and it does more damage the further away you are. It's a good way to get yourself into the thick of battle quickly, even if you're out of position. However, this brings the issue of MP management into play. MP constantly regenerates during battle, but it can also be used up very quickly. Using all your MP puts Noctis into a weakened state called stasis. Try to manage your use of MP, and if you're running low, try looking for point warps in the environment. Warping to one of these points will instantly refill Noctis's MP gauge, which will allow you to warp strike right back into the fray. Barring that, look for walls or obstacles to take cover behind. Taking cover during battle will quickly regenerate both your MP and HP. Being as the standard attack strings come out more or less automatically while you're holding the attack button, much of the strategy of the system comes in weapon switching. Noctis has 4 different equipment slots, and he can switch between them on the fly during battle. An equipment slot can hold a weapon type, magic, or even a special shield. Different enemy types are weak to different types of weapons or magic, so experiment with new enemies to see what gets you the best results. Also, be on the lookout for chances to circle around and get a blindside attack from behind. These do extra damage, and along with effective parries can open up chances for team-up attacks in which one of Noctis's party members joins up to pull off an elaborate double attack. These attacks execute automatically after you initiate them and give you a big advantage in battle. Final Fantasy XV takes several cues from Western RPGs like Skyrim and Witcher 3 in terms of its design. It boasts a sprawling open world which can be explored freely within the first few minutes of the game. The world is full of both mandatory and optional objectives for you to find as you drive around Eos. Since the game is themed as a road trip between a bunch of bros, you'll find yourself driving from place to place pretty frequently, but it's never too far from one destination to the next. You can, of course, turn over the wheel to one of your other party members, effectively putting the car on autopilot. Most of the locations you can visit will offer side quests in addition to the main story missions. The side quests will help make the main story quests a bit easier, but they also feature full voice acting and are generally interesting, so it's worth doing at least a few of them. Of course, if you're wary of doubling or tripling the length of the game with the bloat of open world side questing, you shouldn't have too much trouble going straight on through the main story missions without being underleveled. But as long as we're on the topic of leveling, fans of Final Fantasy X should recognize the Ascension Grid. It's the same basic concept in which gaining a level allows you to unlock nodes on the grid to make you stronger. That said, the Ascension Grid actually allows you a lot more flexibility in how you spec your character. There are 8 categories you can level up as you go: magic, recovery, techniques, combat, teamwork, stats, exploration, and wait mode. Generally, these can all be leveled up in whatever order you like to suit your playstyle. Most of the categories relate to giving you enhanced abilities in battle, but don't forget about the exploration category, which can give you a boost in AP for discovering new locations, allowing you to level up a bit faster. If you need somewhere to start, we recommend going for the Blink and Air Step skills under the combat tree. These are both movement-based skills that will give you more defensive options in battle and make you better able to mitigate incoming damage. So, how have your first moments been with Final Fantasy XV? What are your best tips for starting out, and how are you speccing your characters? We want to hear if you're playing and what you have to say about it now that the 10-year wait is over. Let us know in the comments below, and as always, enjoy the game.